sorry. I'm gonna say good morning, but it's not good morning. It's almost good afternoon. Goodness, I don't know what is going on. Oh, I know I was gonna go live, but I just didn't know what time. That's the reason why this is feeling a little last minute, right? But it's okay. It's okay. I knew I was going live to this afternoon. I just didn't know what time because I wanted to get my orders done, finished with, so I didn't have to worry about them and that they're ready for collection, which I've done this morning. Done, dusted. Now it's about what we are up to tomorrow. So tomorrow, we all know that I'm a Zumba instructor along with my husband. And let's not look at, oh, I'm going to leave it there. It seems a bit weird. I'm going to put her in the way so that you can see her instead. So here's the thing. We're talking about breast cancer. Okay, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October. In particular, the 20th of October is Breast Cancer Awareness Day, but October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm going to tell you about my story, because why not? Okay, because it is all about it. In 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Thankfully, not a HER2 positive, and therefore it wasn't an aggressive cancer. But nevertheless, I was borderline stage 2 cancer. Before I continue that story, so my husband and I are Zumba instructors, and because breast cancer is such a big thing, and it became such a big thing in our household, doing breast cancer awareness is extremely important to us, and to get the message out there that you really, 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 really need to get yourself checked out. And if you are thinking that something might be wrong, just go look. Don't be scared. Just go look. So what we have done as Zumba instructors is that we have organized a Zumba event tomorrow in Claremont at Stadium on Main. They have so graciously allowed us to hold the event. Our charity event, we are trying to raise 15,000 Rand. We are apparently almost there, which is really awesome because we sold so many tickets this week. We still got tickets available for the 11 o'clock session. Yeah, that is, we're doing that tomorrow morning. We are doing 2 Zumba sessions. We have a host of Zumba guest Zumba instructors that are coming down to do Zumba with us. And we're just going to have a whole lot of fun, dressed in pink hair, pink everything. I'm wearing pink today, but I will be wearing pink tomorrow as well. We're just going all out pink. And with that, I've created, I'll tell you about her. I've created her for the top of a cake that I will be raffling off tomorrow. So, and along with that raffle is 2 tickets to Rush. But I have made I'm calling it, whether it's a thing or not, who knows. I'm calling it strawberry pink velvet cake. It is strawberry flavored cake. It is pink. I'm going to be putting strawberry pink buttercream in the center, and we will be decorating it nice and pretty. I'm going to do it naked style, with some pink drip, and make it look pretty and stuff. And then we're going to top it off with this gorgeous little fairy. And then I have made strawberry pink velvet cupcakes, which I have made little discs to go on top. So those are going to be simply done. Those are to sell so that we can make some extra money. I'm trying to come up with as many different ways as that we can raise money for. I'm hoping that I've only done 48 cupcakes, but I'm hoping with the amount of people that we have, they will all disappear and fly off the countertop. and that we'll raise some money for the Pink Drive, which is in aid of cancer awareness. And then for also with it, everyone who's bought a ticket will get a goodie bag, which has a sugar cookie from me, because maybe they'll need it after I've just done a really simple sugar cookie. Running out of time, unfortunately, but they get a cookie, so if they are a little peckish after their Zumba tomorrow, at least they've got something. Cupcakes, they can win a cake for the weekend. So that's what we're doing today. We are sorting out all these pink. My kitchen smells like strawberries. That's an absolute definite. I'm going to move her. So the thing behind this one, so I recreated her, not 100%, but she's pretty close, and so I'm big into fairies, and for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted a fairy tattoo. Never had it. And then I kind of decided not to get one, because I was a bit scared of needles, not so much anymore. And I couldn't really find something that I really liked, so I just never had it done. And with having had cancer, I came across this little fairy who is holding the pink ribbon. And I call her my cancer fairy. I found her very early on in my diagnosis, and she stays with me. So one day, hopefully, I'll be brave enough to go and get that tattoo done. The only problem with my fairy is that I've been told that I can't have her very small because she's a bit detailed. She's a little too detailed. So that would require me to have a bigger tattoo, and I'm not too sure where to put that. And that's what's actually kind of just putting me off at the moment. But I've recreated her for tomorrow. I am going to spruce her up a bit because her clothes need to be sparkly and more spruced up. Her wings need to be sparkly, and so does the pink ribbon. But I will do that just now before I put her onto the cake. So I'm just going to try and work through like a process of doing the cupcakes first, then doing the cake, and then I'll chat and tell you all about how I had breast cancer and where I'm at now. And I think, and the reason why I want to share my story is, again, because it is breast cancer awareness. You need to be aware. You need to be aware of what is going on. So let me get some buttercream. So I've made some delicious buttercream, and I've actually made it with cream instead of milk. I'm hoping that it's going to give it this nice creamy flavor to it. And again, it's strawberry. So this is what's going to go in as a filler of the cake. And then I'm just going to lightly I'm going to do naked style buttercream on the cake. So I'm not going to cover it completely with, well, I am. It's basically like a crumb coating. But first off, I just want to, I just want to mix this properly. It doesn't seem to be mixed properly. Interesting. Let's just have a taste. Tastes like strawberries. It's divine. Okay. So, before I start my story, I feel like I'm doing a delay. So I'm just going to I'm going to do a very simple like rosette chopper, because we're putting the because I'm putting the little disc on, I don't feel it necessary to do a very fancy, oh, that's got a big hole in it. A very fancy, icing on top. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm actually needing to separate these because I've got some really big ones that have got big. Oh, no, maybe that one will work. Too many of these. So yeah, so I'm just going to do a simple rosette because we're going to put the disc on top. Oh, and I'm going to put some music on the background because now I've just realized that there's no music while I'm talking. Sorry, ne? Let's find Trusty Stream Beats. Okay. I might need to turn it down a bit. Okay. So yeah, you should be able to hear me over the music, but we'll have some music in the background there. So yeah, okay. So my story is that I am one of these people that if you reach a certain at certain milestones in your life, you have to have certain checkups. So they say that you should go for a mammogram after 40, when you turn 40, and because women who are older than 40 and older are more prone to getting breast cancer. So it's important that that you go and have a mammogram. And I think, if I'm stand to be corrected, a mammogram for the everyday person who is who hasn't had cancer, it's only every 2 years. What I can say to you is that it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I don't know what everyone keeps. I hear so many people say, I'm scared. And I'm like, I'm scared of what? Are you scared of the mammogram? Are you scared of being sore? Are you scared of finding something out and you don't want to know and be like an ostrich and put your head in the sand? Like, really, what exactly is it that you're scared of? And a lot of people come back saying, oh, they're scared because they're scared that it is sore. Now, I have a mammogram every single year. And I can tell you now, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably a 4 or a 5. Giving birth is far more painful, whether you have a C-section or natural, because that surgery is far more painful than. So put it that way, women. If you've had, women in general, if you've had a child, trust me, the mammogram is nothing next to it. So I know I've got a high pain threshold, so I tend to, probably play it down a little bit. But for me, it was uncomfortable at best. Maybe a little painful, but it was so quick. It's not long. It really is just uncomfortable. So don't use that as an excuse. If you're scared because of what you might find out, then you're being an ostrich and putting your head in the sand. Because rather find out that there's something at an early stage, as opposed to finding out because you've now left it and now you have stage 4 cancer. And when you're in stage 4, it is not funny, and you're more than likely can die. The odds of you surviving are not high, and if you do, well, then you have, you're really good at. But most people who have stage 4 breast cancer or stage 4 cancer don't really survive. Those who do and are able to reverse it, they are the most amazing people, because this is not a funny disease at all. It is something serious about it, and the worst thing is the only time you are actually sick with it is when it's bad. So me being me and going for checks when I need to have them done, I went for my mammogram. I turned 40. My GP and my gynae were moaning at me saying you need to go, and I was like, no, I'm going to go. I'm not putting it off. I was putting it off for the next year in the January for points on our medical aid. So that was the only reason why I hadn't gone, because I wanted to get the points on for the next year. So please bear in mind that there is no cancer in my family. Well, there's cancer. My grandfather had lung cancer and my dad had skin cancer. None of them is related to breast cancer. They don't look for that kind of genetics when they're talking about if your breast cancer is genetic. They are wanting to know if your sister or your mother or your grandmother, anyone within the first 3 generations kind of thing, has had breast cancer. Then that puts you at a higher risk. But make no mistake. Just because no one in your family has not had cancer, just because no one in your family has had cancer, breast cancer, does not mean that you can't get it. And how do I know that? Because I'm that person. No one in my family has had breast cancer. I am the first person in my family to get breast cancer, which now puts my daughter at a higher risk, because I have had breast cancer and now she is now at a higher risk of getting breast cancer when she gets older. So make no mistake, it does not need to be genetic. Okay, you do not need a family history. And I can't stress that enough. You do not need a family history of breast cancer to get breast cancer. And I think that was the biggest thing for me and the biggest eye-opener for me. Because I went that day to go and have that mammogram, not even worried, not even suspecting that there was a possibility that there could be breast cancer. I was just doing it because I had to. It was part of what I needed to do because I was of that age, and it was something that needed to be done. And I am the kind of person that I would rather know now at stage 1 or 0 or whatever it is, then leave it, and then I find a ginormous lump, and I get and then I'm in stage 4 cancer. I have a 6-year-old. There is no time for me to have cancer and not survive. Not a chance. I haven't been with my husband long enough. I need more time with him, and I most definitely need more time with my child. So there was no way that I was not going to beat the cancer. But when I went and had that mammogram, and they were like, oh, because what they do when you go for your first mammogram, this is a standard thing that they do. When you go for your first mammogram, you always have an ultrasound. So they need to have a starting point so that they can map your history as every time you have mammogram, so they can see what's going on and if anything's changed. what did someone, so I have a friend who's a doctor, and she said to me, Tina, remember one thing with cancer, it's like if you've got skin cancer, you don't like in moles and stuff like that. One of the things she always says to me is cancer is not perfect. So if you are worried about like a mole or something like that, and it's perfectly round, it's more than likely not cancerous. Cancer's not perfect. It's not. It's deadly. So it's deadly. So, so they do an ultrasound, they do a mammogram. And when they call the doctor, because now they're worried about what they found, and then the doctor says, oh, we just want to have a biopsy, then you worry. And that's exactly what happened with me. I really was not going in there having that mammogram thinking that I was going to walk out with cancer. I have a history of my family. My family history involves high cholesterol, hypertension, anxiety, diabetes. Those are all things that I expected to get long before I even thought of an inkling of having cancer. So this is why I cannot stress it enough to say, don't go, oh, well, I don't have a history of breast cancer, I'm not going to go and have the mammogram done. That is definitely not the right way to go about things at all. At all. If you're over 40, you go have that mammogram. I don't care how low your pain threshold is, you go have that mammogram done. It is vitally important, especially if you have children and you want to live for your kids. I had my mammogram, my ultrasound. They wanted a biopsy as soon as they could get a biopsy. So that was on the Thursday. As soon as they could get the biopsy was on the Monday. But I knew. When I walked away that day, I knew I had cancer. There was no chance. There was no chance that they were going through all this rigmarole, and there was nothing there. So I had a biopsy. What do they do when they do a biopsy? They deaden it. They put you under local. Well, they do local anesthetic. It's fun when the local anesthetic doesn't work, and you can feel that needle going into your boob. It's great. But then they just give you more. So this is why, after all that I've been through, I shouldn't be scared of having a tattoo. Actually, if you can go and have a tattoo, you can definitely also go and have a mammogram. The mammogram and the ultrasound both didn't pick up that I actually had 2 tumors. It picked up that I had 1. And I know there's a whole lot of controversy around the fact that mammograms are probably not very kind to your breast. Of course they're not kind. They squash you. And they try and get as much of your underarm in there as well, because they're trying to get your lymph nodes. So, actually, to be honest, I think that's what's painful, is the fact that they're trying to pull the skin that's over here. They're trying to pull into this vice, and it's literally a vice. It's like 2 pieces of really thick perspex that crushes your boob as possible, like a pancake. And it is not fun. And I mean, small boob, I have smaller boobs now. I had way bigger ones before, and doesn't matter, feels the same. And it was uncomfortable. And I thought, when I went for my mammogram after surgery, that was going to be painful. And it's the feeling coming back in my underarm here is actually more painful than going for that mammogram. I don't know how else to say that. And that is everyday pain. So yeah, you have your biopsy. They take no, they didn't. They took Monday. By the Wednesday, I knew